another edition of Corded Point. While the South Africans are hardly hitting sixes, we've reached our seventh, completing a six, which has been decent for us. We've reached 80 subscribers also that Dave and I were discussing. Today we have a very esteemed guest, a friend of mine who's been a friend for the last 20 years. His name is Kunal Todarwal. He's a chartered accountant by profession, plus he is a Rotary president, the Bayview Rotary Club, as well as a ardent cricket lover. He plays cricket for the National Sports Club of India. So we're gonna have a nice cricket conversation with him, a bit of cricket, a bit of life, a bit of learning. And my friend, my compatriot Dev Tyagi also has a special introduction for Kunal. Over to you, Dev.
Hi, Kunal, Aka Saif Ali Khan of the world of chartered accountancy. It's fine to have you on the show, man. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Kunal, कैसा है यार? How's Bebo?
वो मैं नहीं कर सकता बॉस. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I'm really excited and looking forward to this. Both of you guys have taken a very big risk having me on your podcast. You know,
by starting the podcast itself in the first place.
Dev, I just hope कि ये podcast के बाद तुम देवदास मत नहीं बन जाओ बस. That's my only hope.
I must warn you that all three of us are going to desperately try to humor ourselves. So no offense there, because we all three are very humorous people.
Yeah, sir.
So let's start this podcast with Kunal. When you were born, did you ever feel that you'll come on to the Corded Point podcast?
No, sir. I think it is the biggest achievement of my life. I could not sleep last night, knowing the fact that I'm going to be interviewed by the two of you. So, yeah.
Dave, the very fact that
dream come true.
Dave, the very fact that people are getting nervous coming onto a podcast is that it shows that we're going places. You've been in Delhi, I'm in Bombay.
The fact that both of us are two abominable personalities. That they
abominable, why?
Yeah, maybe I'm intimidated by the presence of both of you. So maybe because of that.
No.
Achha, so now let's start grilling Kunal, or rather, we'll put some good questions to him. So Kunal, first question is that offline you were telling me that from the time you started doing Rotary, your love for cricket was sort of reinvented. So just throw some light on that.
Yeah, Pranay, you're absolutely right. So basically, I have this whole thing in my mind, and I would like to express it that, about the sense of gratitude. So the reason, first of all, why I would like to just go a little behind in the past of why I joined Rotary also at the first place was because I had that sense of gratitude towards, what I have in my life, So in terms of the fact that both of you will agree that where we are sitting today or where we are standing now, a lot of it has got to do with the fact that the place or the kind of environment we are born in. All right. And to be very honest, I felt that I've been very lucky. The kind of family I have, the kind of people I have, who've taken care of me all my life. And that was for me a turning point where I realized, that, hang on, I've got so much from this world. It's time to give something back. So Rotary was a good foundation where I could do that because Rotary does brilliant work, charitable work, a lot of social upliftment projects it takes. So I was really inclined to join that and encouraged by my family. And yes, I did join Rotary. I did some very good work through Rotary. I became a president for the club and we did wonderful work. And just out of luck, I got to know that my Rotary Club apparently had a cricket team, which plays inter-Rotary tournaments. And, I was like, why not just start all over again? Because I was always so passionate about the game. And that's where I started going for the nets. I started playing the game, and that the passion got reignited. So it happened. That's it. So that's the beauty about it. So the whole point is, when you go out to give back to the world gives you 10 times back, in a very different way. So it gave me back, it gave me cricket. So it's just beautiful, really.
What a beautiful statement, Kunal. What a beautiful statement. Dave, over
Thank
to
you.
you for the next question.
Yeah. So, how young were you when you were first introduced to this great game, which we are so beautifully consumed by? And what are your earliest memories of watching a cricket match? And what players come to your imagination if you rewind the clocks back?
Uh, I think cricket probably struck my imagination at a very at the childhood itself. I mean, but to be very honest, you Dave, I was one who rather would like to play the game more than watch. You know, so if you give me an option of watching India playing a World Cup final vis-a-vis playing the game, I would go to play the game rather than watch India play. So my passion was a lot to do with playing the game. Now, and in terms of inspiration is concerned, to be very honest, typical Indian fan, Sachin Tendulkar fan, I was.
Okay, I think it's time to stop the recording button over here only. It's Sachin fan, and you did not
No,
say
so
Brian Lara
no,
or
no, no.
AB de Villiers. So that's end of the show, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
no,
just kidding.
no. There is one more gentleman I would like to name. I was a big fan of that. Also, was Anil Kumble.
Okay.
I like that man's grit and the way he used to fight on the field. That was that has always been an inspiration. So Anil Kumble comes the second name to my mind after the great
That's
Sachin
awesome.
Tendulkar.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Kunal,
So,
whenever you talk about Sachin Tendulkar on the Corded Point podcast, Dave and I really, I mean, it's not about stopping the video, but we feel a little constipated somehow. It really doesn't sit
Oh.
well with our stomach. And when you talk about Virat Kohli, I think we need an ICU bed. Dave?
Damn, man, you guys should have given me a memo for this.
yeah, and especially when people talk about how good looking Virat Kohli is, and that how sexy and attractive he is, and the kind of shoes, the branded clothes that he wears, all the interesting pieces of cricket journalism which we Indians of
It's
late have made a lifestyle out of. So we really
yeah, it's
tip
I
our
I complete
hats.
I
Is it a
completely get that,
lifestyle?
Dave.
Dave, is it a lifestyle or is it a mockery?
It's the mockery
Exactly.
of lifestyle.
It's the mockery.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think
So-
it's
basically,
mockery
when
of
you do
cricket, maybe.
that kind of mockery, you end up doing mockery of journalism. But it's fine. I mean, some people have chosen it. But Kunal, tell me, any particular teams apart from India which you've liked to follow and keep yourself abreast of in these decades and all these years of following the sport and playing it on occasions.
Well, Dev, uh, it's very unfortunate that you're going to make my friend feel happy live, because the second best team I always liked after India was South Africa.
Wow.
It's I'm not saying this because Pranay is a very dear friend, but genuinely.
Looks like I think I'm getting a call. Hello, Temba Bavuma. Yeah, it's Kunal. Yeah. He's the one who likes your team. Yeah. And you're gonna win tonight, Baba. Okay. Yeah.
No. So I would like to just correct you out here. The current team is not the team what I really enjoyed following, but especially the story behind South Africa.
Kunal,
coming
if
out
I
of-
may, let me just intrude here. The current team is not which even the current team likes following. So it's not only you. I mean the performances, as Dave said, are so fantastic that even West Indies fancies their chances against us.
No, West Indies is a strong
That's what
T20
you
team,
get
bro.
us.
No, I love
No,
the West
but
Indies.
seriously, why South Africa also, there is a reason behind it, is because, you know, once they came back to playing international cricket after the whole apartheid thing happened, and the way they announced themselves, you know, internationally was just mind-boggling. You know, it really caught my attention as a child. And from there, they just went strength to strength. It's just unfortunately, you know, they were labeled chokers. It's so unfortunate, but that team was beautiful, really beautiful. The 90s, they really ruled the roost, honestly, for me. For me, not the Australians, but it was the South Africans, for me, who ruled the roost.
So we have a fan here who doesn't call us the chokers. That's really encouraging. But you know, Kunal, talking about South Africa getting into the international scheme of things, did you know that India played an instrumental role in getting them back
Yes,
into the
I know.
international fold? If it
That's correct.
wasn't for India's stand with South Africa wouldn't really have competed in the 92 World Cup. So hats off to India
That's
there.
correct. That's my son. Say hi.
Hi. Hi. Who do you think is going to beat South Africa tonight? West Indies or India?
Sorry?
Any- No, I had a question for your son, a funny one, and I'm glad he dubbed it. Right. So, who are your any particular South African players who you liked really a lot, because the '90s team was made of some really amazing superstars: Donald, Pollard, Callis, so and so forth. Who were the ones that caught your imagination?
Uh, Honestly, the White Lightning
Hmm.
and
Okay.
and Zulu.
Yeah.
Superb. What a player he was, man. I mean, my heart uh, sank with his heart in the 1999 World Cup. What happened? That man almost pulled off that match, semifinals, single-handed, and uh, I think that
Against a
was the
top
day even.
quality bowling attack.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then I mean, that day, the only time I've cried for any other team was for South Africa, was in that game. You know, it was heartbreaking to see them go out like this.
Right.
I had 10 heart attacks that time, all at once.
Great.
So, Kunal, after South Africa, I mean, in terms of the other teams like England, Australia, New Zealand, how do you see them having progressed over the years, especially with New Zealand contesting and winning the ICC Test Championship final? We all know that India has
Well,
like really grown, but when you look at these teams, how have they progressed?
so, Pranay, to be very honest, Australia has always been the most consistent players of a consistent team of our generation. You know, they have always performed consistently. I think they've never let their guard down. During the 90s, they ruled, you know, beat the test one days. I am very impressed with the way New Zealand has come across, you know, as the world test champions, and they thoroughly deserve it. But and you know, so, and you know, the thing is about the New Zealand team is that, you know, they just go about their doing their job, you know, what it is to be done. There is no hoo-halla, there is no so much of, you know, it's like a team which is so away from the media, so away from the attention, and slowly and steadily it's like they came from behind, and then, you know, there they are now, one of the most powerful teams. And unfortunately, because they don't get so much of media presence, I feel that this team is underrated or not recognized or not given the due recognition what it deserves. You know, in terms of England, I think how they have transformed as, you know, one of the best teams in T20s and one day internationals is amazing. You know, they got the right players into their squad, and they've become a very powerful. They've always been a very good test team. But the way they have been performing in the T20s and one days is very good. In last 5-6 years, they've been excellent.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Do you think that the current set of Fab Four, which includes Williamson, Smith, Virat Kohli, and Joe Root, is the actual Fab Four, or do you think it's that there is some other batsman who would rather merit any one one of these set of players' place in that so-called cherished unit? Do you think there's any other
Uh,
player of that particular caliber?
just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second.
You know, Dave, if Kunal doesn't
Sorry.
think they were the Fab Four, they can definitely be the Fab Four. 'Cause, really don't
No.
know about
So,
them, Fab, but Fab for sure.
no. So, I think definitely, Dave, I would feel that they are the Fab Four. I'm sorry, guys. My son is coming back to me. Just give me 1 minute, if you don't mind.
Please, please take your time.
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry about this.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
So, talking about the Fab Four, yes, I do believe that in this generation, these four batsmen have been performing consistently. I cannot rate who is better than the other, but I think four of them are doing a tremendous job. Uh, in their respective field. Another batsman I'm really keen on watching is Manas Labuschagne. He's another superb batsman, and I feel maybe he might become one of the best batsmen. Maybe
I
four,
was in
5 years down the
You
lane.
know,
fifth when I first learned the spelling rightly, and then in all these years I've completely forgotten it how to spell his name.
no,
But he's an
it's
incredible
Labu
talent.
Sakne in Afrikaans, as I said earlier, and it's Labuschagne from the time he migrated to Australia. But you know,
You
Kunal,
might
it's
say it 10
interesting.
more times, but I keep forgetting it. In next 5 seconds, it'll be off.
Dave, Labu Sakne.
Okay, Labu Shankar, Labu Shankar.
Labu Shankar. But you know, Kunal, on a more serious note, it's interesting you talk about Manas Labuschagne or Labu Sakne. In fact, in a recent interview, Tim Payne said that he could be the future Test captain of Australia. So, what's your take on that?
Well, I would agree with Tim on this because he looks like honestly speaking, in my books, Tim Payne is not worth being the captain what he is. I feel the Australian team can have better leaders. Of course, unfortunately, because of that whole issue with Steve Smith, it went into Tim Payne's lap. But Manas Labuschagne looks like he's got cricket brains. He's a very good batsman, understands situations, and he's been a consistent performer. Honestly, Pranay, I really don't know how well he will be a captain, but it's worth giving a shot, definitely.
I think all this time I was hearing the fact that Pat Cummins would be the future captain because he's the one who's really been prepped up for that role. But yeah, for sure, Manas Labu Shagne could also definitely
Labu Sakne,
be
Dave.
the right fit.
Sakne with a K.
Yeah. Sakhar Torte, the
Sakne.
pudding of Austria or Germany. It's much easier to pronounce that. On to more serious things, who have been in the 90s, who according to you, apart from Tendulkar, were the great players when it came to batting, and whose batting would you be really consumed by when Sachin was not on TV?
So, Dev, I am also a southpaw. Okay,
Okay.
so
Are you really?
I'll
Oh, wow.
yes, I am. Yes, I am. And to me, I think for me, after Sachin, or probably at par with Sachin, was Shivnarayan Chandrapal. He was
Wow.
an
Interesting.
amazing player,
You know,
beautiful
Kunal,
player. Honestly,
it's nice
yeah.
you bring his name because after Brian Lara, Shivnarayan Chandrapal is someone Dave really likes. So
Yeah.
suddenly you would have
For
seen
me,
that slight smile on his face when you said Shivnarayan Chandrapal.
I feel Shivnarayan Chandrapal was, for me, in my books, was as good as Brian Lara for me because the thing was, I think his achievements got a little overshadowed with the presence of Brian Lara because, see, no doubt, Brian Lara was a world-class player. His achievements are something to, be in awe with. But this man, Shivnarayan Chandrapal, the way he used to play so consistently, with his weird batting stance, but still such a consistent performer. And he's had a very long career. I mean, I also admire that man's fitness level. I think what he
Absolutely.
played,
That's one
he
thing
played,
people don't talk about.
yeah, so his fitness level is amazing. I think he played till what, 37, 38, or maybe, I don't know, maybe longer also.
Yeah, the
Dave,
last series that he was.
wasn't he
Sorry?
playing with his kid in one of the domestic
Yes,
matches? A
yes,
young
yes,
Shivnarayan
that's correct.
Chanderpaul and him.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Testament to his
That's
fitness, man.
amazing.
2013 was the last that we saw of Shivnarayan Chanderpaul. And I think it was at the back of a series failure against England or some other team that he was sacked. And definitely not the way in which such a huge legend of West Indian cricket should have been made to depart from the game, which he was such an integral part of. And he's won so many ODI matches on his own. He's hit last over six against Sri Lanka. He's defeated New Zealand in the Caribbean on a tour when they were being captained by Stephen Fleming. He's done a lot for his country, a lot.
Oh yes, that man deserves a big shout out. Seriously,
The
for his
69-ball
achievements.
century against Australia in Test matches. I think he reached his 100 before lunch. It was crazy what he's achieved.
And he was a big thorn in the Indian team flesh, because whenever he used to perform
Yes.
against India, he used to take out his A
Glenn
game.
Sarwan
You know,
yeah, yeah.
I think the Indian team uh, would be more fearful to Chandrapal than to Lara, because I believe when it comes to against India,
Absolutely.
I'm so sure Chandrapal has got a better record than even Brian Lara, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely, he does. He does. And an even better batting average too.
Yeah,
Kunal,
superb.
you brought out a very interesting word called as overshadow, which sort of rung a bell in my head that when Chanderpaul and Brian Lara were playing, so were two people in the Indian team. One being Sachin Tendulkar, who was almost is godlike rather, and the other guy was Rahul Dravid.
Rahul
So would
Dravid.
you see a
Yes.
comparison of Lara and Chanderpaul, like Lara overpowering Chanderpaul, similarly overshadowing rather, similarly Sachin overshadowing Rahul Dravid? Because
Yes.
sorry,
In a
honestly,
way, yes. And I think,
on Quartet
yeah.
Point, we sort of salute the underachiever or the underdog. And believe you me, Rahul Dravid is not that. But still, as compared to not being the demigod in India as Sachin is, our hearts go out to Rahul Dravid. So do you think he was also overshadowed by Tendulkar?
Yes, I believe so. And I mean, a player like Dravid should have got more presence. His recognition should have got more presence, or more his recognition should have been there, along with Sachin Tendulkar, because the achievements is no less. The man. You tell him anything, he does for you. You tell him to open the batting, he'll open the batting. You tell him to come one down, he comes one down. You tell him to keep, he does wicket keeping also. He was your go-to man all the time. And really, I mean, the wall is just testament of his character and of his persistence. Just a great player. Unfortunately, uh, got overshadowed again by Sachin Tendulkar. So yeah,
Brought
lots of
a
similarities.
brought a huge smile to my face on a day where the Delhi temperature is much more than that of Jaisalmer's. So thanks for those kind words. Definitely one of the fondest memories I have of Dravid of the tour in 2011-12 to England, where he single-handedly scored 3 centuries, made 461 runs in the series at an average of 146, I believe, 117 rather. I think his highest score was 146. He made a century at Lords. And interestingly, you were speaking about Chandrapal. Both Chandrapal and Dravid have scored a century at Lords, while the god Sachin and the Prince of Flair, the Prince of Trinidad, Brian Lara, haven't really scored a century at Lords. So both these guys have it. But Chandrapal and Dravid have. So another question I have, and this is a question I've been asking everybody around me. So when Dravid actually retired, the baton of being India's solid, dependable number three came to the hands of a certain Cheteshwar Pujara. But of late, do you think he's been a huge letdown, or do you think that he's gonna be back in form, or do you think that his recent numbers actually warrant regard, which you be keen at giving him right now?
See, for India's sake, it is very important that he should come back in form. I think of late, what problem he's a solid player. There is no doubt about it. There is a talent. He still averages 47 plus, which is still not bad. But yes, we are used to seeing a Cheteshwar Pujara who scores a minimum 50 in almost each and every game. I think since last 2 years, his average, or last 3 years, his average has been
2018, his average was 51.4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are
He came back
discussing.
from Australia.
Sorry, you guys are discussing averages of 47 and 51. The entire South African team combined doesn't average so much. I'm just feeling a bit overshadowed here. I think I should just get out of this podcast right now.
I think tonight, when they smash West Indies out of the park, their average would be much better than Arjun Ranatunga's waist size. So don't worry about that. Which I have no right to discuss because I'm not Sunny Leone in my figure, you know, any which way.
You're more the Sunny Deol type. So.
Okay, doggy, I will drink your blood. I like
Pujara.
Apparently, Ranatunga is pissed off with the Sri Lankan board. That's
Yeah.
the news
Everyone
going
is
around.
pissed off with the Sri Lankan board, Kunal. Don't worry.
Except the Sri Lankan players themselves. That's the beauty. No, but it's really sad scenes to see Sri Lanka going down the way they are. They still have batsmen of the class of Dimuth Karunaratne. You know, he's a classy batsman.
Dhananjay
really,
De Silva,
if you
yeah. I saw him play against England in the second match. He was fantastic.
And now they have
just
3
don't-
players banned for a year.
Yeah,
one of
because
them
they
is,
decided to
yeah.
break the quarantine rules and just roam about in Durham. So unfortunately,
For a year,
they've been
that's a
banned.
bit harsh, man.
Everything is
Mr.
harsh
Dick
about the
Taylor
Sri Lankan
happens
board.
to be
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah, yeah.
So that's a big
Absolutely.
letdown.
So Kunal, tell us that what do you see in terms of the 5-test series? Do you have some things to look forward to from an Indian perspective? Considering India was, I wouldn't say thrashed, but they were comprehensively beaten by the New Zealanders. And there's also the Sri Lankan series that's happening, right? For which the pseudo
Yes.
Indian keyboard warriors aren't speaking much. So that's quite surprising. So
Yes,
let's discuss the 5-match test series because the other one's practically non-existent as we speak right now.
Yes, definitely looking forward to it, and I think it's part of the. It will be considered for the World Test Championship for the next one. This series will be considered. So yes, looking forward to that challenge. But I really feel that our batting unit needs to click. I think that has been a worry for us. Let's accept it. In Australia, we did a brilliant job. But if you dissect the way we performed, it was either the openers who were doing the job or the lower middle order, the Punts and Washington Sundars and all those guys, even Ashwin, who were bailing us out. You know, the point which was not addressed for so many years was the 3, 4, and 5. Number 3, 4, and 5 of Indian team batting lineup, which completely got exposed at the most important time. That was the World Test Championship. You know, so this is a very big hole which needs to get plugged. All the 3 are really good batsmen, but for some reason, the 3 of them are not clicking. So that's going to be a big worry. Honestly, looking at this, I personally don't see India doing that great in this series. I don't see them winning, you know, but the way they are going. But you never know, because Indian team surprised us last time when they visited Australia. maybe they can do now also. They have a fighting spirit. Being an Indian, I hope they do it. But on paper, I feel England is a stronger team.
Stronger team, absolutely. And plus, let's not forget that England would be very keen to avenge the hammering served to them when they were
Yes,
here.
yes. That
When
got, yeah.
one of cricket's most overweight cricketers in the form of Akshar Patel really had them for lunch, dinner, and breakfast, all three meals, and still wasn't
Yeah,
content. So,
yeah.
put
He
so
was
many
served
balls.
jalebis in the morning and ghatias in the second session and fafdas in the third session. Total,
Yes,
he had a full Gujarati thali.
yes,
He was
yes,
feasting on it.
अगर वो
yes.
अक्सर खाता रहता ना तो वो इतना ओवरवेट होता नहीं.
That's an epic one. That's the joke of the century, Pranay. Really, you can retire now. You can
Thank
really
you.
can. And you
You've done
should
your bit.
really.
But you know,
It was nice to have you.
thanks, sir. Kunal, Dave and I were just discussing a tweet we recently came across. Dave, do you want to throw some light on it? The Ravichandran Ashwin tweet. Let's take Kunal's perspective on that. We
Ashwin,
anyways running short on time. We have about exactly 9 minutes left because we don't have the money to afford Zoom Premium. But still, we'll ask this
the last
question.
time
That
we
day is
were
not
rich
far.
was any which ways when our parents were dating. But let's come to more serious things. Recently, a tweet came from Ashwin, and he said that the Indian cricket team was sort of, I mean, he alluded to the fact that the Indian cricket team was sort of perturbed seeing New Zealand celebrating long after they had won the World Test Championship final. Now, Pranay and my take is very simple. With all due respect to India, and we respect the Indian cricket team, even though we have our favorites, he loves South Africa, I love West Indies, whatever, but that's not the point. I think any team which wins the prized mace, which New Zealand did, can celebrate howsoever long it wants. Especially the fact that New Zealand have in the past been, bereft of winning anything significant on an ICC platform. So even if they were dancing, having champagne for 3 days, I mean, go marry a cow if you want. You won the World Test Championship. How is it to? How does that affect India? Shouldn't they be, instead of looking forward at their own mistakes, which didn't let them win, instead of Ashwin tweeting something like that? And Ashwin is, by the way, a cerebral cricketer. Okay, he's a brainy chap. So that tweet in particular was kind of strange, is what we thought.
Yeah,
I
Kunal, so
completely
before
agree.
you just answer that, whenever Ashwin behaves like this, we sort of feel that he should become Ash lose because that win is really not happening with him. He doesn't show that spirit. So no, but over to more
No,
serious
no,
business. Yeah.
no, I am surprised. I was not aware about this. Now you are saying this, that I'm also completely surprised. You're right, Dave, that Ashwin being such an intelligent cricketer, talking something
Absolutely.
like this, uh, honestly, I find it disrespectful, if I can use that word, because
Of
uh,
course, you can use that word.
yeah, and it is disrespectful. You have to put yourself into that position. Today, if Indian team would have won that in such a way, and if you would be celebrating, of course you would be celebrating, and why not? I mean, let's understand. This is World Test Championship. The preparation, the tournament goes over a period of 2 years. You are toiling so hard, and we all know that Test match is the most difficult form of cricket and the most demanding form of cricket, and then finally winning the championship, it means a lot. And the way you it's see, what is celebrating is a way of expressing, right? And you judging a person on the way they are expressing themselves is
Very
stupid,
shallow.
honestly speaking.
Yeah.
Very shallow, stupid, disrespectful. You can coin whatever words
So,
you want. And
so Kunal,
yeah,
tell us if India would have won this match, for argument's sake, and someone from the New Zealand team would have raised this objection, wouldn't have the Indian keyboard warriors, so to speak, taken that person's case left, right, and center on social media?
yeah, maybe. See, the thing with the Indian media is, they are very sensitive, and their sensitivity comes from the fact that what I feel is that we Indians are very sensitive about cricket. You know, uh, So that's how our media is, so they would have sensationalized this maybe to an extent, and yeah, it could have snowballed into God knows what. The fact that it was other way around, it didn't. I mean, the fire didn't catch so much of wind. Had it been the other way around, the whole forest would have been on fire.
I know what DJ Bravo would have done if his team would have won the World Test Championship.
DJ
Which-
Bravo. DJ.
Exactly. He would have
Would have
just
done that.
composed another song called the ICC Maze. And the
Yeah.
lyrics would have been that it's a maze to have held the maze in my hands. Something like that. How
I am
doing it?
No, I am surprised that he's not yet done any rap for. See, he's won so many tournaments with Dhoni in the Chennai Super King. कुछ तमिल में he's not brought up any rap. I'm so surprised. As of now, कुछ आया ही नहीं
Kunal,
है उसका.
Actually, in all honesty, he's done a rap. उसकी bowling इतनी अच्छी हो रही है कि South Africa अब हो चुके हैं रहे आप परेशान. So his rap is happening. Don't worry. He doesn't necessarily need to do it in a musical way.
Somebody is in great form today, and I'm so happy. And in the next 7-8 hours, he would be the happier man. There would be, because there's only one man sitting in Bombay supporting that team, and there's only one person in the entire subcontinent supporting the other opponent. That's the subcontinent.
Dev,
So, yeah.
subcontinent में मतलब सब बावले हो चुके हैं that it's only you.
Subcontinent. Sub. Right. So, Kunal,
so-
one final question from my side before Pranay takes over. So, in
Sure.
the next 5 years, where do you see the position of Indian cricket team? Are they going to be even stronger, or do you think that teams like South Africa, West Indies, Sri Lanka, perhaps, are going to rise and become competitive? Where do you foresee the future of, particularly from a test level?
Dave, I think India, I personally feel that looking at the bench strength of what we have currently, the crop of players who are coming up, honestly speaking, I can't put a finger on this, Dave, because to be very honest, the way we can look at next 5 years is looking at the bench strength of the Test cricket team. Honestly, Indian team, my worry for Indian team right now is they don't have a bench strength as far as the Test team is concerned. I think ODIs and T20s, you are seeing a lot of upcoming players, and there is so much of fight for the position. I mean, today in the article only, today I was reading in the morning, like Shubman Gill is going back. He's not going to play the test series. So now they want Parthiv Patel because there is no replacement as an opener. You have Rohit Sharma, you have
Didn't he
Mayank
retire from the
Agarwal.
sport?
Yeah, that's what even I was going to ask. I thought Parthiv Patel has retired, right? Or they brought him back
Sorry,
out of retirement.
not Parthiv Patel, sorry. Prithvi
Riddhiman
Shaw.
Saha.
Where did Parthiv
Acha,
Patel come
Prithvi
from?
Shaw.
My bad. Prithvi Shaw.
Because the name starts with P,
Yeah.
and they both are of the same size as the planet Pluto. Tiny.
Actually, Kunal,
Yeah.
Prithvi was.
So I think.
One sec, Kunal, Prithvi was really hurt. He didn't saw that coming. Sorry, man. He didn't see that coming. Prithvi saw. Sure.
That
Pranay,
was.
what did you
I
have
think
for
Pranay,
lunch?
that was. Exactly.
We just
Thanks.
lost 7 subscribers with that joke, I think.
Exactly. So
None
this
of
was
it
this if this
Acha,
if people
Guys, sorry, we
don't
only have
like and
1
subscribe
minute
this
46
podcast.
seconds left. So
So
Kunal, anyways,
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time. Just give us some parting words for our viewers, and I hope you had a nice experience being on this podcast.
no, guys, seriously, thank you both of you for giving me this wonderful experience of being on a podcast. It was my
Our
first.
pleasure, man.
Hopefully, it is not the last. I hope you guys get
Definitely
a lot of. And I just want to put one thing out there to two of you that what you are doing, the podcast and the articles, what you write. I keep watching. I keep Pranay shares all those things with me. You're doing a very selfless job towards the society. You don't expect any commercial things in return. This is your selfless way of giving back something to the society. Like how I did from Rotary, and I know the sense of gratitude what you get when you post such things, and I'm sure you're not doing it for recognition. You're just doing it for yourself. Please keep doing this brilliant job. what you guys are doing selflessly.
Thank you.
And trust me, the world will give you 10 times back in whatever way possible, because I firmly believe in this theory. So brilliant job, guys. It's an honor and a privilege to be associated with both of you and with Cottage Point. And yeah, just keep doing this great work what you guys are doing. That's it.
It's an
So
honor
guys,
to
this
hear
was
these words.
Kunal Todarwal. Thanks for being on a podcast, and please like, share, subscribe. And that's us. We're running out of time. Dave, we'll take a Zoom premium
back.
subscription ship when we reach 100 subscribers. So guys, that's our time.
Surely will.